Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome with Win with Tess. My name is Tess Abellanosa. Today, I am here with a very hard-working and impressive guest to share her life stories. I am sure that our hardworking women friends who are tuning in will appreciate her. On behalf of Win with Tess and myself, we thank each one of you for tuning in with us again. We love hearing from you. Please continue to message us and follow our website at Win with Tess. The Win with Tess is designed to promote an empowering and inspiring community. Growing up in a toxic world where people gossip about others, jealousy taking over many instead of supporting your wins, hating more than loving others, we need to spread positivity. We need to shine more lights on deserving winners. So, a little bit about myself. I feel that I am winning by being a mom to my three beautiful children and my three stepchildren. I am thankful that I have a loving and hardworking husband. So blessed and thankful for having my grandchildren. Yes, I said grandchildren because I have a grandson coming. She's due on, my daughter is due on March. Yay! I am winning with a family and friends who continue to support me with this show. And of course, without the collaboration of our team, Win with Test will not be happening right now. Thank you to our marketing gurus. Yay! Well, our guest is a winner herself, a very busy person who is building her own empire. She is a mother and a businesswoman. Today, she will share with us her personal journey from homelessness to empress. Please help me welcome one of our good friends, Lillian Mackenzie Ryan. Hi, Lillian.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
May I call you Lily?
Yes, please. That's what everyone else calls me.
So, how are you doing this afternoon? Can you tell us where you tuning in from, or
I am tuning in from the cafe that I own, Cafe Coco, here in Nashville. It is a very rainy, cold day today, so that's what we're dealing with. It was extremely hot yesterday, so we're all just kind of thrown off. So, yeah, it's afternoon and it's rainy and dreary and nasty out.
ouch? And I think it's overcast here too. I haven't really been outside. Well, Lily, you and I met through social media. We
Yes.
chatted a few times and really clicked with each other. Guys, she warned me that she might push me away because of her strong personality.
Yeah.
Lily, can you help me help our viewers understand why you seem to be too strong? What is your background? Describe how you started with nothing and got to this point.
Well, I started, I would say back in high school, I was always the nerdy type of girl, but yet I was always in all the in crowds, which was really strange. And then I went to St. Louis University, which is a very highly sought out university. But in that time, I ended up being a teen mom. So when I became a teen mom, that kind of switched up my path to where it kind of went into taking care of my child. And so from there, I learned a few different trades, tried some things out. Fast forward, I got married, had some more kids. Was in the medical field for pretty much the first part of my career. And then I got this weird chance to be in the accounting field. And I was one of those kids who always loved math as a child. And so to be in accounting, I was like, finally, I can use math. And so from there, I learned all types of different types of accounting, from lease accounting to media, to ad sales, to bookkeeping, to everything of that nature. And so accounting has been one of the things that has lasted with me up until now. And it has been the consistent thing in my life that has been a revenue stream. So from accounting being my foundation, I've always been able to bring in money that way and yet still do all the other things that have been placed inside of my path as far as I manage artists. I manage public figures, anywhere from NFL players to comedians. I manage companies, cafes, and things of that nature. And so those are the things that pretty much map up my background. I like to say that I'm doing the most. So I pretty much do everything. If you could think about it, I do. I learned how to make a latte last week. Did not know how to make a latte. Know now.
You are remarkable. See, ladies and gentlemen, one opportunity that landed on her lap, she took it so far in her life and took now a businesswoman. So imagine, Lily, approximately what, 7 decades ago, the idea of a woman boss was outrageous. People will laugh at us if we introduce ourselves as the CEO of our company. And no matter how hard it is to juggle the responsibilities, we continue to prove that women can lead. Women are leading in politics, business, career, finance, and many other industries. So, lady, what has been the most challenging part about running household and running a business for you? And in fact, it's a multiple businesses for you.
Yes, it's very challenging, considering that my children kind of never see me. And so, you have to step out of being a businesswoman and taking phone calls and answering emails all day long to about 9:30 at night when you have a child coming to you to sign a field trip slip. And you're like, you're in this mode of like just signing and approving stuff. And then you're like, hold on, wait a minute, what? Where are you going? What are we doing? How much does it cost? You literally snap back into mom mode. Like, who is this? Who said, why am I just not hearing about it? When is it? Tomorrow? Do I need to have a sack of lunch for you? Do we have lunch meat in this house? So you literally have to flip a switch between boss mode where, you're in a cafe and you're ordering thousands of dollars worth of food a week in big bulks, and you go home and you're like, we're out of milk. How come no one told me we were out of milk? So that's my life.
That's so true. Um, I know. And then sometimes I look at the charges on my account and I go, what was this? When was this? And they'll remind me, Mom, that is for such and such that you told me. Okay, so what made you start a management and consulting business with all this busy livelihood you have there?
Well, in a former life of mine, I was an author. And when I was an author, I had no support whatsoever. I had no team, didn't know what I was doing. And so I taught myself how to make my own graphics, my own book covers, promote my own self. This was back when Facebook fan pages were not a thing. And so when they became a thing, I had a Facebook fan page, I had Twitter, I had all these things set into place for my books. And I got into a relationship to where my ex was a musician, he was an artist, and he had none of those things. And so I'm like, you need these things, so I started setting them up. And he really became like way more than just somebody that was underground that did music. Like he had, CD covers, he had a website, he had all these things. And so people would joke that, she's kind of like your manager. And so that kind of stuck. And so people didn't even know we were in a relationship. They just knew I was his manager. And then from that, it came to, a friend of a friend. Hey, I see what you did to this person. Could you do that for me? And I'm like, okay. And so I became that person's manager. And then next thing you know, I had 14 people underneath my belt. And I was like, how did I get here? How did this happen? And, now I'm 7 years into it, and all that trial and error and, just throwing things at the wall has kind of paid off now. And I kind of know what I'm doing now. So, so yeah, that's how I got into management.
Nice, nice. It's amazing how you put your mind into it and you just do the grind and you keep going, right? And
Yeah.
you look back, it's like, wow, I've gone so far. Well, Lily, researchers have been pinpointed that a statistic that millionaires on an average have not just one, but seven streams of income. And I think you are almost there. Can you
Yeah.
share with us why do you have many industries and avenues?
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
Why do you have many industries and avenues that you work with?
Um, Probably because my personality is one of randomness, and so I kind of like random things. Um, we're so random that a lot of people kind of don't know what we do because we do something different for them, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And so I have clients that I do accounting for, and when you tell them, oh, we have this cafe now, they literally thought that I was just doing accounting for the cafe, and I'm like, no, I own the cafe. And they're like, what? And so, but things that you do are foundational, so I take the management, I take the consulting, I take the accounting, and I put it all together, and now I can run a brick and mortar business without any experience because I have all those foundational pieces. I know how to manage a team, so now I know how to manage a staff. You know, um, Things of that nature helps me to kind of have that center piece of a wheel and have all of those different spokes that go different places, but it still all comes back to that center piece. And so those are the things that help me create different avenues, different industries, different revenue streams, and then we all kind of come together and make it all into one. So I might be doing accounting for a salon, but when she has a question about a grand opening, I can also help her because I do that as well. Or she might need an update to her website and she doesn't want to pay someone $1,500. She comes to me because I do websites. So it's not just accounting that I do for her. I can do anything for her. She's on maternity leave. She needs someone to run her business while she's on maternity leave. I can do that as well. So those things just kind of help the clientele and the community and the family that we built with our clients by being able to jump into any different industry that we want.
Mm, amazing, amazing. We can see why you are such a successful woman and you really, really attain your goals. Now, before I forget to ask you at the end, because I am very excited of having you here and you're sharing great experiences and journey with us. How can any of our viewers, if they interested to reach out to you, how can they reach you? What's the best way to reach you?
The best way to reach me is my email, and that's Lillian, Lillian, Mac, Mac, Rhine, Rhine, at gmail.com. And my website is www.blacksheeps, with an S, society, ent.com.
There you go, guys. Make sure you write that down, and if you missed it, more reason for you to watch us again or reach out to me, and I can connect you with Lillian. Lily, you once mentioned that you had your own journey on losing weight. Now I understand that a more effective weight loss mindset involves slowly establishing new habits and routines. Can you share your journey with us?
Yes. So I was 330 pounds 2 years ago, and I decided to have gastric bypass, not because of health reasons. I was pretty healthy, ate pretty well, but really I did it for business reasons. People actually take people differently when they are overweight and bigger, or a woman, or gay or whatever. And so I decided to kind of test the market to see what would happen if I lost a tremendous amount of weight, and how people would respect me and treat me, in that frame of mind. Actually, I mean, I think people just treated me the same way they did when I was bigger. It's just that now I could kind of bop around a little bit faster around here and kind of get in people's faces a little bit faster. But as far as my routine goes, working in a cafe kind of helps with my routine, because I cannot eat breakfast foods. And so my breakfast consists of coffee with a protein shake in it. And so when I kind of walk in the front here, they kind of have my coffee cup all ready to go for me to start my day. And it is hard when you are constantly in your car, or you're constantly in meetings. Um, for most people, they can stop off at fast food or grab a quick salad, or sandwich sometimes. And I have a very restrictive diet. I cannot eat lunch meat. I cannot eat overly salty foods or overly sweet foods, which are typically your fast foods. So I have to be very conscious of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and when I'm doing it, because it can make me violently ill at any moment. And so that is still something 2 years later that I struggle with, is getting that routine down. But I do have my coffee. That is like a staple. I have to have my coffee and my protein in the morning, or I'm no good. Nobody wants me bad at all.
Well, I'm glad we talk on the phone at night times.
No, and we talk at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. Well, I have known you for a very short period, but despite your worry of pushing me away, like I said, instead, we are nourishing our friendship. We have so many commonalities. Besides from having high ambitions in life that we both strive to attain, you and I love to give back to the community.
Yes.
Let's talk about your efforts with community service.
Well, I have a few things that I do with community service. The first piece is I love servicing the youth in an educational way. So I use my financial background in accounting to teach kids who are in the foster care program and group homes. Um, the biggest story in that is that when they turn 18, they are usually pushed out into society. And so, what I like to let group homes know when I go into it and I talk to the social workers and the executive directors is that, yes, chronologically, these boys or girls are adults and they're ready to go out in the world, but mentally, they're still children.
Mhm.
And so, what I do is I go in and I teach them things like grocery shopping. If you're given an apartment, what do you put in that apartment? So we take those, flashy ideas of, I'm going to have this and that and this and that. And you're going to say, okay, well, if you're going to have a leather couch and a big screen TV, where are you going to sleep at? What are you going to eat with? What's for dinner? And so I help these boys establish those type of foundations, so when they are put out into society, they are at least prepared for that. Another piece that I do in the community is I do sexual education, and that's more so on the lines of having sexual freedom and sexuality freedom for people who are closeted, people who are hiding, and people who are actually doing illegal things because they aren't comfortable enough to let the world know, okay, this is me. And so we have a lot of community talks and round tables with all different types of people, different ages, where we have those type of service talks, and we give out condoms, and we have people there who are talking about sexual transmitted diseases, and group homes that are able to talk to maybe kids who are LGBT and have nowhere to go, because a lot of them do end up on the streets and do end up in sex trafficking. And so we mention that to the community. And then here with the cafe, we have a pretty strong community of homeless people that frequent here. And so we want to give back to them by giving them a hot meal. We're putting a refrigerator outside for them so they'll have sandwiches and water and things of that nature when we're not open. And so those are the things that I kind of do for the community right now.
Wow, you are a superwoman. We need more of you. Can you clone yourself in every city and every state and
I don't think you would want me cloned.
Well, my dear, you are a very busy one too. And I thought I am bad with having multiple email. You shared your email, the best way to contact you. But I've seen you having multiple email addresses and thousands of email in your inbox, and the same as myself. I have a lot of emails on my inbox. And after seeing yours, though, I felt like I was not working enough. Now, can you can you describe your own personal brand and what it means to you?
My personal brand is split into three right now. My personal brand is randomness because I am a random person. I kind of do first and think about it later, even in business, even when it comes to managing an artist or signing an artist. Sometimes I'll sign an artist because I like the way they look. Can they sing? I don't know. We can figure that out later. So I tend to have a very random brand. Right now, my brand is split into three brands. And so one is the kind of the urban Mary Poppins meets Son of Anarchy type of brand, where, that's where I'm down with, my artist and on the music scene and doing things of that nature. And then I have the businesswoman brand where, as they call me here, boss lady, I'm walking around and I'm got the finger out or, fussing at people and making sure everybody's on task and, putting out fires and calling vendors and things of that. And then looking at new businesses and having business meetings and can't get one up and going before we start another one. That's what we're doing around here. And then my third and final brand is the adult industry sexual freedom sexuality brand, because that is very important to me to let people know that even me, almost at the age of 40, a mother of 4 children, can still have sexuality and let people know that sexuality is something that's fluid. It's something that grows. It's okay that you were one way when you were in your 20s, because I was one way when I was in my 20s, and then you were one way when you had kids, and then after you had kids and your kids grew, you decided you wanted to walk around in fishnets every day. That's all right. That is all right. Tess, get the whip out, whip your husband with it, he might like it.
Okay, I hope he didn't hear that. He might be ordering it on Amazon now. But that is very true, and we tend to forget what how life was at 820 when it was fun, and not realizing that it can still be fun at the age of 50. I'm
Yeah.
50, Lily.
Yes, Tess.
Well, like I said earlier, you are one busy lady, and I bet your personal assistant is loving you for her job security. Uh, can I be that second assistant? Anyways, we would like to know, what is a day in the life of Lily? I mean, you've shared so much already, and I'm like dizzy here. But can you walk us through it? What is a day?
Well, my day starts probably about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. answering text messages while I'm still sleeping. And then I probably do a little bit of work. So I will still laying in bed, open up at least one laptop, do a little bit of work to about 6:30. Then I try to make sure that all the children are accounted for in my household. So I do a little head count. And then from there, I shower, I get ready to come into town, which is an hour drive. And I come to the cafe. I'm usually at the cafe about 10 o'clock in the morning. I have my coffee. I kind of walk all the corners of the cafe, make sure that the prep room is good, make sure my front of house is good, my cooks are good, make sure this back venue area that we're sitting in is good and still in one piece. And then from there, I'll open up both my laptops. And in one laptop, I watch a client's money all day long. And so I watch his money. And then my other laptop, I'm doing my own personal business. So I'm answering emails and things of that nature. Usually people come in and out telling me something's on fire. We're out of this, we're out of that. I go fix it. And then we have tenants upstairs. We make sure that they're okay. And I'm done. I tend to have a lot of interviews and meetings throughout the day. And I'm done about 3 or 4 o'clock. I make my way back home, make sure the same kids that I left the house are still there and in one piece. And then I work throughout the rest of the night, doing the same thing that I was doing at the cafe. And I tend to go to sleep around 1 o'clock in the morning, as you know, because you're always, do you ever sleep? No, I don't. So I go to sleep about 1, and then I'm back up at about that 3 or 4, and it's the same cycle.
Lily, I think it's a God's blessing that I met you even just through Facebook, because sometimes I think of myself as I'm crazy, but hearing your day, it's so similar with mine. So I guess I'm normal after all.
Yeah.
Okay, with all this hard work and long hours and multiple businesses you are running, where do you see yourself in 5 years and in 10 years?
5 years from now, maybe I can take a vacation. That sounds, as you see, I'm looking off. That sounds like an amazing thing to have. I hear people have vacations all the time. I don't know anything about that. But 5 years from now, I see myself as being able to have a vacation on a personal level. Um, I would like to have another residence by then, so maybe a condo. I think at least 50% of my children population will be out of my house by then. So we can downgrade into another property. So I would like to have 2 residential properties in 5 years. But 10 years from now, I would like to be at the point where everything is self-sustained, that I don't have to have my hands in everything. All of my businesses and all of my ventures are just kind of running on their own. And I just sign checks and sit on the beach with you, Tess, and we just have a good time.
Exactly. Hey, girl, I love to travel. We go on vacation every year. And as a matter of fact, in a few days, we're leaving for Dubai.
I want to go, Tess.
Yeah, we just like you, we grind and grind. We put our head down and grind and then reward ourselves once the goal is reached. Well, Lily, I thank you so much for joining us today. Your journey is truly inspirational. Your growth in life and in business speaks highly of you. But before I let you go, can you answer one last question?
Sure.
Sure. Well, I am sure, just like some of us here, unless you are part of Avenger, there are days that you want to stop or quit. I think of my grandchildren when I start feeling that way. They motivate me and I get my aspiration back. What or who is your biggest motivator?
My biggest motivator, strangely enough, is my mom that passed away 6 years ago. She always wanted to be a writer and she didn't. And so I became a writer. and I wrote. She wanted to kind of live in the city and like a condo, but she never got a chance to do that. And she wanted to, finish up her degree and be this, just kind of modern woman. And so I kind of do everything in her memory. And every time I achieve something, I always say, if my mom was here, she would love that, but bless my dad's heart, he is an old fashioned man and doesn't understand a lot of what's going on, but he tries his hardest to support everything that I've got going on. For the longest, he thought that I owned some bar across. I don't know how he got that in his head, but he was telling everybody. So, that within itself, it's just the cutest little thing. And he just tries his hardest to kind of understand what's happening. So I would say my mother is my biggest motivator.
Remarkable, hardworking mama right here. Lilly, again, thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the life story of a woman who rose from almost nothing to owning multiple business. I hope that we delivered a great message to you, our viewers. And remember, like what Vince Lombardi wrote, winning is not a sometime thing. It's an all-time thing. You don't win once in a while. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. So, my dear friends, keep your nose to the grindstone and take every opportunity, just like Lilly, to learn a business or an opportunity. Perfect your craft, and big things will be on its way, just like Lilly. We are on the best country. We have our family who will support and love us. Let's make them proud, just like Lilly is making her mama proud. Reach high goals. Again, my name is Tess Abellanosa. Please continue to follow us with Win with Tess. Thank you and have a great afternoon. Thank you, Lilly.
Thank you.
Wait, let me